On June 16, 1976, over 10,000 student protesters flooded the streets of Soweto, South Africa. For 28 years, South Africans had been living under apartheid, a strict policy of segregation that barred the country's black majority from skilled, high-paying jobs, quality education, and much more. And in 1974, the government announced schools would be forced to teach many subjects in Afrikaans, a language used primarily by the nation's white ruling elites. But when protesters rose up to fight this injustice, the government's response was swift. Armed police officers turned their weapons onto the crowd, and over the following days they killed over 150 students, including victims as young as 13. Even before apartheid, South Africa's long history of racial violence had already cost countless black Africans their jobs, homes, and lives. Beginning in the 1600s, first Dutch and later British settlers colonized the nation, displacing local populations from their ancestral lands. Over the following centuries, black Africans were segregated onto so-called native reserves. And by the 20th century, that meant 70% of the population was living on roughly 13% of the country's land. Deprived of their traditional livelihoods and seeking to escape these overpopulated regions, black Africans began migrating to white-controlled areas. There, they worked for low wages on white-owned farms and mines, alongside the descendants of enslaved and indentured workers from across Africa and Asia. By 1948, this exploited labor force was a primary driver of South Africa's booming economy, but economists argued that continued growth required a stable, educated, and urbanized African labor force. The ruling United Party accepted this logic, but the rival National Party argued such a workforce would threaten the white ruling class, naming their campaign apartheid, the Afrikaans word for separateness. The National Party won the 1948 elections, and once in power, they began forcibly relocating millions of Africans back to the reserves. Under apartheid, black workers were considered temporary visitors in white areas. They were restricted to specific zones, and their trade unions received no official recognition. The government also abolished mixed-race universities, outlawed mixed marriages, segregated recreational spaces, and purged the non-white population from the voters' roll. Within parliament at this time, apartheid only had a small group of outspoken opponents, but outside the government, three political groups were leading a popular resistance against the regime: the Communist Party, which was then legally banned in 1950, their allies in the African National Congress, and later, a splinter group called the Pan-Africanist Congress. Despite some ideological differences, all three groups worked to mobilize the masses against apartheid by non-violent methods. But the National Party wasn't as restrained. On March 21st, 1960, policemen massacred demonstrators at a PAC rally. And within weeks, the ANC and PAC were outlawed. These events radicalized anti-apartheid leaders, and in December of 1961, Nelson Mandela and other ANC and Communist Party activists established the resistance's armed wing. While the conflict grew increasingly violent, the 1960s saw consistent economic growth throughout South Africa. The National Party attributed this to the success of apartheid, but it was actually due to further exploitation. Employers were illegally hiring black laborers for positions affluent white workers didn't want to fill, and since this prosperity was flowing disproportionately to the ruling white minority.
Salute, salute, salute. Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. I'm here with my brother, Broken Blade. What's up, sir? How are you doing?
What's up, man? I'm good.
Good. So, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, shout out to the handful of y'all that are in the chat and those of you guys that might catch this on the replay. So, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what is the big deal with South Africa? What am I missing? Right? What about you? I mean, don't you think it's kind of weird all of a sudden? It's like all this like South Africa stuff.
Yeah. Suddenly out of nowhere.
Kinda, right?
A lot of focus on Africa. At least we know what's up with Burkina Faso. But...
Yeah, Burkina Faso too. Yep. So it's strange, kinda.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, I mean, I guess we've been stealing from them a lot for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe they're getting hip to some of it. So I imagine there's some adjustment that needs to be made. Yeah. Maybe, right? Like if you're like skimming 10% off the top for like since like the 60s and somebody figures it out and then they cut you off and you've been dependent on that money, like that's going to kind of make you mad a little bit, right? Like,
yeah.
I imagine that's what's been happening. I imagine through us stealing gold, uranium, platinum, whatever kind of crooked contracts they got over there. I think that we have been just siphoning off money out of West Africa for I don't know how long. That's just us. And then the French from Central Africa and North Africa, they've been doing it, right? And then the British were in there too. So everybody has been just like succubus, you know, and they've had their own way of doing it, I guess, you know, soft power, hard power, I guess, you know, sometimes they lead with bullets. Sometimes it's like frying pans and shit. I don't know. But needless to say, the part that I'm really struggling with is the fact that these people on a largely black continent feel very entitled to the land. And it's hard to justify them being there first. And I'm trying to understand the posture. But if I were in that group of blacks, like, I think maybe you should be lucky you're still breathing. But so all that, maybe I have a misunderstanding of the situation, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe, you know, because we, you know, how we see non-melanated people over here is probably different how they see non-melanated people over there. Their energy is a little bit different. So I started, you know, just getting to like a brief, let me just get a little brush up. What was going on? Let me just at least get the dates right? Like, let me just figure the dates out. So I found this little, and I'm gonna try to get us through this real quick. Let's it'll just be quick. I think I got the steps in place.
The government happily turned to On June 16th, 1976, over 10,000 student protesters flooded the streets of Soweto, South Africa. For 28 years, South Africans had been living under apartheid, a strict policy of segregation.
That was 28 years. Okay. Probably one of the largest mass they kicked everybody out of their house.
Forced relocation.
Yes, like 3.5 million people. There's like 2 million in Gaza, just to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
So eviction, that's the word I was looking for. Eviction. So they evicted like 3.5 million people at the same time, like mass evictions, moved them out of areas into ghettos. Like, that's what these people did. I didn't quite realize that. There were just handfuls of details about things that I just didn't really realize how bad it was. Because the reason why I wanted to do this is just to kind of give some of this other stuff, because I'm about to let you listen to what a person on that side explain what apartheid is. And if you just hear him say it, it doesn't sound that bad. It doesn't sound that bad. And I know nobody wants to touch this. It's going to be boring. I'm sorry. I can't in good conscience see all of this bullshit on here and not at least make an attempt to try to make some sense of it. For me, this is, I mean, I get, maybe this is selfish. Maybe I'm putting my, you know, whatever into you, but it's like, we're forced to sit here and watch all of this and like have this information pumped into our brain, but we don't even have the full context of what the hell is going on over here. And then as an American, I'm supposed to be upset about what these black people are doing over there. And I'm like, shit, that's what I would do. like you guys are lucky you're still above ground. What are we talking about? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you guys want me to feel bad for some shit that I don't feel bad about. Anyways, let's let this rock.
A certain country has the right to defend themselves.
Thank you, Broken Blade. Yes, that is exactly it.
That barred the country's black majority from skilled, high-paying jobs. Quality.
Sound familiar?
education, and much more. And in 1974, the government announced schools would
Why would Donald Trump think this is a good freaking idea? You know what I'm saying? Like what on what planet? No one is infuriated yet. Like South Africa should be a third rail. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so we're gonna go right back to slavery, huh? Like that's the, you know what I'm saying? It's like Jim Crow, apartheid, slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's in the, all it is just a different time.
Yeah.
Why would we even go? Why would we even? Maybe that's why I'm so frustrated, Broken Blade. You know what I mean?
Complex.
It's like, how am I supposed to, like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, how do you think, like, we're still black. I get it. We're American, but we're still black. And again, I'm not about to go jump off no cliff for a bunch of Africans. I'm not, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just can't. I'm sorry, man. I'm just so crazy.
be forced to teach many subjects.
Like, why would you do this?
A language.
Like, why would you even want to get anywhere close to this bullshit is what I'm trying to say. You know,
yeah.
As a politician, even if it's a black president and apartheid's been done for a little bit and whatever, you're going to literally say the G word, genocide of these people when you're literally leveling an entire, wow, the hypocrisy is crazy. The hypocrisy is crazy.
Used primarily by the nation's white ruling elites. But when protesters rose up to fight this injustice, the government's response was swift. Armed police officers turned their weapons.
Yo, look at the dog. Look at the cop.
Protesters rose up to fight this injustice. The government's.
What color is the cop?
Black.
Response was swift.
Okay, Broken Blade. How do you feel about the heavy-handed black cop?
Vexed, to say the least.
Vexed?
Pity. Fury. So here's my thing also, like in regards to the person making this video, it could be one of two things. Either they're trying to downplay race dynamics by color swapping police officer, or there truly is no loyalty on that land.
Damn player. Yeah, I think you might be onto something there. And that's a question to be had. And you'll, when you hear this guy speak, I got a clip a little bit later on, and he's going to say something that I would imagine would maybe, I hate to give him any credence or any, but I think that may have been the problem. I think that may have been the problem, the tribalism, Yeah. It seems as though, if I had to guess, it just seems as though these black folks just were caught flat-footed and just didn't understand their enemy, I guess. And by the time they realized what had happened, they were already like in chains. They'd like talked themselves right into chains and didn't even realize it. I could almost see how it happens fast. I could almost see, right? Information doesn't travel as fast, right? You might have a little side hustle with this king over here or this tribal chief over here. You might have to do a bum rush or two every once in a while, but you bum rush, take some area, you grease a couple of pockets, maybe. But for me, it just seems like to take over an entire southern tip of a continent, and there were wars. We're going to talk about it. There were wars. There's obvious conflict. In fact, part of my whole thing about this is like there's been conflict. That's the thing. It's like there's been conflict. So my whole point of this whole thing is to be like, you guys have been genociding these people since you got there. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been trying to kill all of them, or at least put them all over in one place this entire time. I'm trying to understand what the problem is.
There's a chapter of the Klan in South Africa.
Huh?
There's a chapter of the Klan in South Africa.
Yeah, of course. They do not see here. They do not see they don't see blacks there as, I mean, they're more hardcore than the whites are over here. I'm being honest. The whites, we've learned, we've at least figured out how to kind of get along over here. It's still pretty grimy over there for sure. Like, let's be real. It's not no. But look, check this out. This is going to be boring. This is going to be kind of boring. I just want to touch a couple of areas. Okay. I want you to see, one, how the words get kind of minimized. Okay. Just the word play, right? Because when this guy's talking, I want you to just be aware of this shit. Broadly speaking, apartheid was delineated into petty apartheid, which entailed the segregation of public facilities and social events, and grand apartheid, which strictly separated housing and employment opportunities by race. The first apartheid law was the Prohibition of Mixed Marriages Act in 1949, followed closely by the Immorality Amendment Act of 1950, which made it illegal for most South African citizens to marry or pursue sexual relationships across racial lines. You know what's really crazy about that, Broken Blade?
What's up?
The first two, the first apartheid law had to do with procreation. And
even there's still fear of the black phallus.
I'm just saying, I didn't. I mean,
the police is so real.
Yeah, I didn't make that up. That's just right there. It's not me. I'm simply making an observation. In fact, Broken Blade, this is going to be a session of observations. We're just gonna make some observations.
Right.
Know anything, whatever. We're just gonna make some observations. That's it. So it says the population the Population Registration Act of 1950 required that each inhabitant of South Africa be classified and registered in accordance with their racial characteristics as part of the system of apartheid. Social rights, political rights, educational opportunities, and economic status were largely determined by the group to which the individual belonged. There were three basic racial classifications under the law: black, white, and colored. And then there's Indian, that is South Asians from former British India and their descendants were later added as a separate classification. They were seen as having no historical right to country. Why would you write that if it wasn't important?
Indeed. And shout out to Gandhi. It seems you don't make deals with the devil.
Huh. Right? White, black, or colored. Indians were later added as a separate classification as they were seen as having no historical right to the country.
How did he even get involved in that? I need to look that up.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, bro. So, we're just pulling these what you call it. But here we go. Between 1960 and 1983, 3.5 million black Africans were moved from their home and forced into segregated neighborhoods as a result of apartheid legislation and some of the largest mass evictions in modern history. Most of these targeted removals were intended to restrict the black population to 10 designated tribal homelands, also known as Buddhistans. Four of which became nominally independent states. The government announced that relocated persons would lose their South African citizenship as they were absorbed into the Buntistans. You know, is it me, Broken Blade, or is like there one group of people that likes to move people where they want to just move them? You know what's crazy about this? I'm about to tie this up in a second, and you're gonna think you're gonna be like, damn, this fool. When I tell you I think I see the Matrix, I see the Matrix. Remember where this started now? Mm-hmm. This started with me asking, why in the hell is the president of South Africa sitting in the Oval Office? What the fuck? Like, what is this going on? Like, why? And then, of all things, trying to justify some white yen, you know, like, what are you talking? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? That just sounds crazy. Like, there's no group of white people on the planet that the world is going to allow to slaughter. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. Russia and Ukraine, and unless they're killing each other, that's the only time. So, like, what are we even talking about?
Even most of the time, Slobodan Milosevic, the European features, he got.
Yeah. Like, what are we even talking about? So I see this and I start to peel back the, you know, and again, I'm just re-educating myself. Let me just make sure I remember what this is supposed to be like, right? Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? So let's bring this all the way back. Let's keep it going. Let's see. Sanctions, party, persecutor, precursors. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, racial discrimination and inequity against Black people in South Africa dates to the beginning of the large-scale European colonization of South Africa with the Dutch East India Company, established in the trading post of Cape of Good Hope in 1652, which eventually expanded into the Dutch Cape Colony. The company began as Kyoto, whatever, K something Dutch wars, in which these displaced, the Khoi people, got you, that makes sense, replaced them with farms and worked by white settlers, and imported Black slaves from across the Dutch Empire. In the days of slavery, slaves required passes to travel away from their masters. So this is something that has started or has been going on since 1652-ish. And there are some people specifically mentioned as like the group of people that they enslaved first, meaning that there were people there when they got there, right? Yeah. I just want to put a pin in that because it's going to come up a little bit later on. Just put a pin in that. So when these assholes got down there, there were people there and then they enslaved them. Okay. All right. Now this is even by freaking bitch ass WikiLeaks. So it's not even like I'm going super deep on this. I would imagine it was worse than it is, but I digress. I mean, French Revolutionary War and Napoleonic War, the British Empire captured and annexed Dutch Cape Colony, and under 1806 Cape Articles of Capitulation, the new British colonial rulers, check this out, were required to respect previous legislation enacted under Roman Dutch law, and this led to a separation of the law in South Africa from English common law and a high degree of legislative autonomy. The governors and assemblies that govern the legal process in the various colonies of South Africa were launched on a different and independent legislative path from the rest of the British Empire. So they basically were like, we're separate. We're going to be able to do whatever the hell we want to do. Now, this is interesting. The United Kingdom's Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 provided the gradual abolition of slavery in most parts of the British Empire. Broken Blade. We outlawed slavery in 1808. I mean, importing slaves. Importing slaves in 1808. But they did all the way up to 1833. Interesting. The trade of slaves made legal throughout the British Empire in 1837, with Nigeria and Bahrain being the last British territories to abolish slavery. The act overrode Cape Articles of Capitulation. To comply with the act, South African legislation was expanded to include Ordinance 1 in 1835, which effectively changed the status of the slaves to indentured laborers. Sound familiar?
Indeed.
This was followed by Ordinance 3 in 1848, which introduced the indentured system for the Soha, and that was a little different from slavery. Hosa. So I could go, there's a lot. There is a lot here. There is a lot. It gets all the way. I want to get right up to here. South Africa allowed a social custom. Oh, sorry. There we go. God damn it. I apologize, guys. My bad. Where did it go? Right. Nope. I apologize. Damn. Where's that part? Oh, here we go. I just want to get this here. All right, because this is when it started, 1948. Or at least this part, like the most recent part of apartheid.
Yeah.
Okay. It says South Africa has allowed social custom and law to govern the consideration of multiracial. Can you guys see? Multiracial affairs and allocation in racial terms of access to economic, social, and political status. Most white South Africans, regardless of their own differences, accepted the prevailing pattern. Nevertheless, by 1948, it remained apparent that there were gaps in the social structure where, whether legislated or otherwise, concerning the rights and opportunities of non-whites. The rapid economic development of World War II attracted Black migrant workers in large numbers to the chief industrial centers where they compensated for wartime shortage of white labor. However, this escalated the rate of Black urbanism, went unrecognized by the South African government, which failed to accommodate the influx with parallel expansion in housing or social services. Overcrowding increased crime rates and disillusionment resulted. Urban Blacks came to support a new generation of leaders and influenced by principles of self-determination and popular freedoms enshrined in such statements as the Atlantic Charter. Black political organizations and leaders such as Alfred Zuma, James Mpanza, and African National Congress and the Council of Non-European Trade Unions began demanding political rights and land reform to the right and the right to unionize. So they just wanted slave labor. They wanted Black folks to live over there where the air is bad and the water's bad, downstream somewhere.
Okay.
And don't come up here unless it's to clean our toilets or take care of our babies or dig ditches or whatever. And then you just go back. That's what they wanted. It's just difficult to have the same population that's working for you, working close to you when you hate them.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I mean, we do it here, but we're not, this is not South Africa anymore, Okay. All right. So needless to say, it was pretty bad, Broken Blade. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. South Africa, there's a reason why we're the richest group of Black people and the South Africans are not. Okay. So let's just say that they're not nearly as far out of slavery as we are. Is that safe to say? Right?
Sadly, yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they haven't really even though they may not be in power per se, like they're you know what I mean? Like the white folks, like they might not be in power per se because there's a majority of Black people there, but they still own all the wealth. Right? Now, real quick, I just wanted to touch this really fast. Oldest tribe in South Africa. I just wanted to talk about this for a split second. Once again, we don't have to go super duper deep because DNA analysis that the Soyan, Kosan, are among the oldest living populations on Earth, with some estimated placing their divergence from other human groups at 100 to 200,000 years ago. Blah, 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 blah. While they have a rich history, oops. Their traditional hunter-gatherer lifestyles increasing under pressure under modern influences. They face challenges. Anyways, there was freaking black people in South Africa this entire time. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, because what we're about to listen to is going to be somebody that's going to try to make it seem like there wasn't no black people in South Africa when the whites got there, which is arguably one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. And I must say, Broken Blade, I got about I probably got about halfway before I just turned it off, and I was like, I can't take any more of this.
Well, I found this entry. I looked about it's pronounced Khoisan.
With who?
The tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Pronounced Khoisan. I'm looking at pictures of them, and though they're in like tribal garb. Of all, at least of most Africans I've seen, they look the closest to the FBA.
That wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me for a multitude of reasons. Shout out to Cody Marshall, bro. What's up, man? Let's see. The Dutch created the slave trade. I remember hearing this in Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo with Eddie Griffin. Salutations. Broken Blade. What are we gonna do with Cody Marshall, man? This fool. We talk about the Dutch slave trade. Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo. Eddie Griffin, and he somehow squeezed salutations in there in the same. That's crazy. Think about that. That's talent. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. I mean, that's a lot in one. Shout out to Cody Marshall, bro. I'm dead serious. I'm not even joking. That is a think we're talking Dutch slave trade and like what the swing all the way to a comedy.
Yeah,
wasn't even like a well-known comedy, by the way, but whatever. And then shout out to Eddie Griffin, man. That's crazy. Shout out to Cody Marshall. Where's my button? Shout out to Cody Marshall. Okay, so what's up in here? What's up, Braxton? How are you doing, sir? Okay. On the back side of this, we're going to talk about what I think non-melanated people. I think I figured some stuff out. I think I figured some things. I think I can, but you just gotta listen. This is crazy. This is wild to me, dog. And again, I'm looking at this from the eyeballs of I'm looking at a continent full of black people, and there are some white people that clearly, obviously came that probably that didn't mean anybody any good when they were there. That's all. Okay.
Can you go back to the history of it, even prior to apartheid? Okay, go previous to that.
1652.
Okay, give me the history there. And then,
1652. That's what he says.
You know, others come in and take advantage of resources.
When was Mayflower? 1620.
Okay.
Okay. I checked when I came in here. So, hang on. So Mayflower, 1620.
Okay.
The first settlers, Dutch settlers in the Cape, 1650.
Okay.
1650, first Dutch settlers. 1650. But didn't we just say that there was Africans down there for 100,000 years? Isn't that what? Didn't we just read that there was Africans down there for 100,000 years? Oldest tribe in South Africa, 100 to 200,000 years old.
And I'm annoyed deeper than that, like talking about like the mistreatment of the people.
Oh, it's gonna get good. Oh wait.
The treatment of the people in African land, and you have like a straight up Aryan explaining this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it wouldn't be good otherwise, Broken Blade. Nah, I want to hear the spin. Give me the spin. I want to hear how he makes it, because the title of this video is Apartheid Became Evil. South Africa's dark history. Destruction revealed by billionaire Rob Herzog. Just crazy. It's like it's almost too. You know what? Let me.
When they got to the Cape, there were no black tribes, none in the Western Cape, all the way up to this place called the Fish River, 600 kilometers away.
600 kilometers from the Cape all the way up the coast. No blacks on the coast where most people live. That's crazy, bro. Like, to really think that he could get that shit off and nobody would be like, wait a minute. Let's go.
The black tribes had migrated down over 1,000 years from Eastern Africa into South Africa. So they're settlers too. If they call us settlers, they're settlers. And they met.
Yo, that's it. It's crazy. How could a monkey? That shit is crazy, bro. Wow. The audacity, though.
And
is that not crazy?
People that are more general, like where's your evidence of this?
Right.
Or black people on food stamps, welfare, more evidence. Because you have none.
None. This just sounds crazy.
The Fish River, 600 kilometers away. There were no black tribes, none in the Western Cape, all the way up to this place called the Fish River, 600 kilometers away. The black tribes had migrated down over 1,000 years from Eastern Africa into South Africa. So they're settlers too. If they call us settlers, they're settlers. And they met. And there was peace, working together, and fighting. The usual story.
I see why you had to turn this off.
I could only make it a couple more minutes. I was like, no, this is crazy.
Fast forward, the British then arrive in 1820, and then the late 1800s, gold is discovered, and everyone piles in. And then the British have their first, they have the Zulu Wars. Mm-hmm. Then we've been fighting all our career. Then they have the first Boer War, English Afrikaner, and then the second Boer War, English Afrikaner. And in 1910, South Africa, which was made up of a whole lot of different republics and provinces, was formed into this Union of South Africa. So South Africa as a country is only 114 years old. It's new, but it's big. It's twice the size of France. It's a very big country. And it...
Fuck the people that have been there for thousands of years. Yo, it is crazy. I'm like, yo, is it me or is no one is talking any sense?
No one.
I get it, bro. I get it. Like, if you sign your name to the document, is you know, it's you know what I mean. So there's like a constitution, and they had these governments that are formed and so on. But like, at what point do you look at the situation and you say, you know what, like, not only am I not being fair now, but I've never been fair to this entire other group of people, and they can see what I'm doing now. I can't get away with this bullshit anymore. So I either need to pick up my shit and go, or I need to start being fair. Because otherwise, what's the alternative? You know what I mean? You ain't going to be able to live high on the hog for forever. You're just not. Every other society has proven it. That's why it's gone the way that it's gone. That now, which is also going to bring me full circle to why I think South Africa is in the Oval Office right now. Oh yeah, we're gonna come back to that because I told you my spidey senses was going off. Let's let this dude continue to soft shoe apartheid. Let's go.
The Western Cape has nothing in common with KwaZulu-Natal, has nothing in common with the North, Mpumalanga. There are 26 different languages. The white tribe is made up of the Afrikaners, of Dutch and German.
White tribe. We got white tribes now. The white tribe. Just thought I would. He's slipping it in there, trying to make it all the same. It's not the same, but I digress.
Origin, but they really are white Africans. And the angle is like
white. Oh, they're really white Africans now. Okay. I mean, I get it. I understand. I guess I understand.
myself with some more English heritage. So they're two different white tribes. Then there's the colored,
Two different white tribes.
who are a mix of white and black, offer some more English heritage. So they're two different white tribes. Then there's the colored, who are a mix of white and black, the Indians, Indian South Africans, and then the blacks. And the black population of South Africa, I think they're 20-something tribes: Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Venda, Swane, all in different areas. It's a patchwork of individual communities.
See, since there's a bunch of different tribes, then we're not the same, so they can treat us differently, but the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, they're not organized. They're just a bunch of tribes. But we're tribes because we want ownership.
Yeah.
So we're tribes too, but they're just a bunch of silly tribes. You see, like talking out of both sides of their mouth. I never really dug super deep into this. I was like, we got our own bullshit to deal with. But listening to this guy, it was really interesting. Let's let him rock.
And therein lies the solution. I'll get to it quickly. We have to decentralize. We have to create autonomous regions, autonomous areas based around culture and ethnicity, and take decision-making from the top and urgently push it down. That's my solution. We can
Listen to what the fuck this dude just said. If this is not the most white supremacist shit I've ever heard in my life, listen to what he just said. Like, think about it for a second.
build communities. And therein lies the solution. I'll get to it quickly. We have to decentralize. We have to create autonomous regions, autonomous areas based around culture and ethnicity, and take decision-making from the top and urgently push it down. That's my solution. We can speak to that later.
That's exactly what they want to do in the Middle East, bro. What are we talking about? That's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to put all the black people or all the colored people in a bucket. It's the same shit. Isn't that crazy? Like, to sit there and say it like that. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go.
So we then had the First World War, where South Africa fought with the British and Allies. Second World War, where we fought with America and the UK. And my father was South African Air Force, the Second World War. He's 99 this year.
You were saying that. That's unbelievable.
And sharp as a tack. He'll be watching this. He'll be watching this and saying, "Well done, Robbie, didn't swear."
So let me.
And then we get to 1948.
Yeah.
And in 1948,
listen to this bullshit. Whew. This is about where I lost it.
the Afrikaner National Party gets elected. And from 1948 to 1960, they begin the process of apartheid. And what apartheid, the word stands for, is separateness. You translate it directly, apartheid, separateness. Mm-hmm. And the intention was to have people develop separately, so that the black South Africans would have their areas, the whites theirs. But, it did migrate into something that was patently unfair.
Treating me like a dumb shit. I mean, who does he think he's talking to?
Interesting, huh? Let's let him talk some more.
More money was spent on white kids and black kids. The white people got the better areas there. Black people had to carry passes. Apartheid became dysfunctional and evil in its latter stages. And in 1985, no one knows this, F.W. de Klerk and the Afrikaners in power decided internally apartheid was unsustainable.
Broken Blade, they decided on their own that apartheid was unsustainable. They decided on their own.
Yeah, damn the works of Nelson and Winnie Mandela and many other activists in South Africa. It's just got a random hair up their ass one day. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this.
I take it back. I mean, why I'm sure we could figure out a way to do it without doing all this. Yeah.
And between then and 1994, they put a process in place to remove apartheid. And he died. He was a Nobel Prize winner. And
they made this motherfucker a Nobel Prize winner, dog. Listen to this bullshit.
He worked with Mandela to create a great constitution and a peaceful transition of power.
In your opinion today, Mandela, good guy or bad guy?
Good guy in a very bad party, because the ANC always had as its original tenet a national democratic revolution. They're all trained by the Russians. They all believe in socialism.
The Russians would just be a convenient, right? Isn't it crazy? It's like, just say the Russians did it. The Russians did it. The Russians did it.
I'm starting to see big. Now I'm starting to understand why Putin is talking to several countries in Africa. It's like similar energy.
Yeah.
Like the blacks and white folks, like, God dang.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Communism. Mandela managed to sit on top of that and say, I see a better way forward. But the ANC always had its evil within it, which is manifest.
Think about how he describes that. They always had their evil within it. Bro, I'm sorry, dog. Now here's it. Okay, not yet. Okay, never mind. I'm not yet.
Manifesting now.
Is it almost like they were waiting for Mandela to die and get out the way so they can do it the way they always wanted to do it?
Correct. People always go, where's the brain trust of the ANC? I said, well, there's not much brain.
What did he say? Listen.
Do it the way they always wanted to do it?
Correct. People always go, where's the brain trust of the ANC? I said, well, there's not much brain and there is no trust. But there's.
Where do these tropes come from?
Where they always come from.
These people always talk about this. The intelligence comes up all of the time, Broken Blade. All of the time. It's like it's the first insult. It's the first ad hominem attack. It's always the first one. It's always a lack of intelligence. He's too dumb, lack of intelligence, too dumb, lack of intelligence. And that's what they use to.
As completely forgetting that a part of the apartheid program was to limit educational opportunities for the blacks in the area.
Of course. But that didn't matter. It was just the excuse that they were going to use anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter. It does, you know what I mean? I mean, we've proven that we're obviously much more intelligent than they give us credit for. Otherwise, we'd all be dead by now, for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think they hate us so much, bro, because they're like, we tried to take these motherfuckers out. Like multiple times. We keep trying to take these motherfuckers out, and their music is all over the place, and I gotta see them on TV, and I gotta see them over here, and I gotta hear about them over there. No wonder these fucking
one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I gotta see my daughter freaking getting banged out by a 6'5" gorilla I can't do nothing with. Like, I get it. I understand now. I understand why all that animosity is in there. I do. I really do. I understand it now. It's misguided. But I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if I tried to kill this person, if I tried to take this person out over and over and over and over again, and he keeps coming back to eat my lunch, I'd be a little bit agitated too. So I get it. I understand, white people. I'd be pissed too. It's unfortunate that it's like that, but it is what it is, I guess.
Is this fundamental Soviet-trained philosophy that is manifesting itself, and it's a very slow burn. Like cultural Marxism in the West. You know, they took time. They captured our universities here. They captured the left. They captured CNN, MSNBC. They do it over time and slowly.
Propaganda method. Russia, Soviet, all the words being an enemy to U.S. Please get involved in this. Please stomp out the Negroes.
We're getting in the way.
I need to quickly make that video on propaganda.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you didn't know any better, Broken Blade, like if you were just listening to this guy talk and you didn't have any background for real or any like concept, like it must have been a regular existence for black people at that time. Sure. You know what I mean? And they just came together and then they fought a little bit. Listen what this one.
Slow burn. Like cultural Marxism in the West. You know?
Have a little love, respect.
You're right.
Took time. They captured our universities here. They captured the left. They captured CNN, MSNBC. They do it over time and slowly, but it's a policy. And it's showing its face now in South Africa, but Donald Trump has noticed.
Yeah, so...
so stupid.
You know, when I'm looking at South Africa, and you're going through the history, and you're looking at all this stuff, and you have different papers that come up. So you'll read this one paper that says, well, you know, South Africa is a great place for resources, natural resources. Go there, mine, make your money, great. But outside of that, for capitalism and commerce and building and ports and import and all that stuff, it's complicated. It's not built in the best way.
In 1994, it was. We had some of the best ports, best airports, best railway system. We had more rail lines in South Africa than the rest of Africa put together. We were number 1 or number 2 gold producer in the world.
That's the
Hold on.
We had some of the best ports, best airports, best railway system. We had more rail lines in South Africa than the rest of Africa put together. We were number 1 or number 2 gold producer in the world.
Now it makes sense. Nah, homie. Now you know why these motherfuckers ain't trying to leave. Now you know why they ain't trying to leave. Now you know why they're not trying to leave. They're trying to they're trying to hold on tight. Okay, that makes way more sense now. See, I'm just making observations, Broken Blade.
Yeah.
I'm just observing. I'm just trying to figure it all out. Maybe my perspective is messed up. I'm not seeing the whole thing. So I just thought I would. So,
that's known.
We're now number 22nd.
Wow.
The ANC has chased away so much foreign direct investment. I don't know how you can be that stupid, but they are.
And I think that's a very good
intelligence again. And they got chased away. So the African government chased away the white mining companies? Is that what you're saying? The black government chased away the white. Okay. All right. It's starting to make sense now. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, got it. Bet. All right.
Good measure to see how the administration is doing to attract people in. Because right now, if we look at FDI with US, well, you notice 1.4 trillion.
That was last week.
Then you got, 1 trillion. Then you got 600 billion from MBS from Saudi. You got Apple is saying $500 billion. So all this money, of course, Apple is here, but all these other countries are saying, I want to go and invest in the US. That is the biggest compliment to say, I want to do business here. The complete opposite is taking place in South Africa.
Everyone's pulling out. Shell just announced they're pulling out. Exxon's pulled out. And they find it just too hard. South Africa's overregulated. They've got racist laws. I don't know how anyone actually keeps doing business in South Africa.
Overregulated.
Racist laws.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Fuck.
That's crazy, bro. Ain't that crazy?
Damn audacity.
It's crazy. It's hard. It's like I'm in upside down and backwards land. I don't understand. Up is down, down is up, hot is cold, cold is hot,
freedom,
wet is dry. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused. Because these guys got the victim thing down. And shout out to Solo Dolo. He said exactly what I was thinking, bro. It was crazy. I think I think being able to deceive without a conscience is high intelligence. This is truly a diabolical individual right here. He's got all the dog whistles and the undertones and all the reading in between the lines stuff. He's got it down. If I was just listening to this guy just right off top, I would be like, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. Oh yeah, that sounds about right. There was nothing that he said that was true outside of how much gold is there. That's the only truthful thing he said.
Facts.
I want to ask you about the president, but before I do so, I want to give you some fun facts that I pulled up. So 1, the only country in the world that has 3 capitals. Is that true? That's what I say. So Pretoria Executive, Cape Town Legislative, and then Bloemfontein Judicial.
Yeah.
Then it has 11 languages. You said it's 26, but it says it's got 11 languages. Okay.
I think it's more than, let's
Is
go.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the languages. How many languages does South Africa have? Can you pull it up? How many languages does South Africa? It says 12. Okay, so 12.
12 official.
12 official.
Lots more unofficial.
Oh, got it. And recognizes at least 35 in total. Got it. Okay.
So my 26 was kind of
you're there. So maybe slang will be the 36.
Rob, stop putting me under pressure.
So this is a crazy one, and I want you to speak on this one here. First, is it true that it's the first country to voluntarily dismantle nuclear weapons in the early 90s?
Yep.
Why and who agreed to that?
It was a discussion between the Afrikaner.
Can I tell you, Broken Blade, why South Africa is the only country that on their own disassembled their nuclear weapons? Because they're black and the black people got power and they said, you're not going to get power unless we can dismantle these nukes. That's why. Because they couldn't control them anymore. That's why. No country in Africa has the big ones. They won't allow it. No one will allow it. No one. It just might be too late for Iran, but they're not going to let anyone from Africa. They don't even. I don't even.
Maybe
I think
another country that's been shunned that's tried to enter the UN that they.
Yeah, absolutely.
Government and Mandela.
Hold on.
To that.
It was a discussion between the Afrikaner government and Mandela. You know, when in the 70s, when I was at school, Africa was turning hardcore. You know, colonies were leaving, but it was turning hardcore Soviet. You know, the Cubans and the Russians were in Angola. The threat was moving south. Rhodesia was the last bastion of kind of, you know, the old world. And
listen to this dude. Rhodesia? Weren't there like genocides in Rhodesia too? Like, what is this guy talking about?
So.
Bro, that's wild, dog. It's just wild. And these people act like they didn't do what they did. And it's totally cool. It's crazy, dog. I'm shocked a little bit. I mean, any and everything in Africa was pretty goddamn diabolical. I mean, they just basically just been killing black people with little to no repercussions for hundreds of years over there. Like, that's just what they've been doing. So to claim anything is wild to me.
And they fought on their own for a long time. And then they went. And South Africa was left. And our government said, we're up against it. We need nuclear weapons. In 1972, there was a nuclear power plant built 40 minutes drive from Cape Town, Koeberg power plant. In 1972, still fully operational.
Till today.
Yeah. I drove past it last week. Fully operational. South Africa was the first country to do a heart transplant. I mean, South Africa's done, has punched so far above its weight in history. If you look at the statesmen, the tech developments, the people it's produced.
The only country that's held a World Cup in cricket, rugby, and soccer.
And we've held it in our country, but we haven't held the cup.
No, not the cup. Yeah. Holding it in your country. Yeah. I mean, in those three sports, I mean, you pretty much get 90% of the world.
South Africa used to be a world leader in a whole lot of areas.
AKA, we used to crack that whip with impunity. We used to get these blacks to step and fetch it with the best of them.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, boy.
Look how comfortable he is, dog. Like, look how comfortable this guy is. That's how they are, though. Real talk. Like, that is how they are. Like, that's it. That's old money right there. Old family, old school. Like, he's one of them ones. Like, if we were to cross him back in the day, bro, we'd have to be plotting if we come across a dude like this. Straight
Candyman energy, for real.
Yeah, we'd have to take this guy out. This guy's a, you know, it's in his blood. You could tell. Because, like, again, if I didn't know what I was listening for and I couldn't read between the lines, I wouldn't know what he's saying. You know, how they leave some things out. That comes with practice, man. That comes with, like, being and having these conversations and arguments and being able to conceptualize what they did and you know, try to make it not so bad and make it, they didn't get along. Yeah. You know, some people relocated, some people came down south, some people, you know, and then some stuff happened. Some laws got passed.
No big deal.
Yeah. Some contracts got signed, some people got relocated. It was government stuff. Let's let this rock.
And that's not the case anymore.
Okay. You don't put that on Mandela. You put it on Zuma.
I put it on Zuma and Ramaphosa. And the ANC itself.
Nowadays, more.
So you just put it on the black people. It's the black people's fault that South Africa is no longer great. Make South Africa great again. So fast forward, Broken Blade, to this moment right here. That's been put all up into the news. And Broken Blade, see, what happens is Donald Trump is pretty smart. What he does is he gets someone in there and they sit down, and then they have some conversation back and forth that's relatively cordial. And then you find out why he wanted you there. Whether he's trying to embarrass you, whether he's trying to like raise money, whether he's trying to knock you off balance, whether he's trying to like get you to have to in a bind to where you have to negotiate, whether he's going to put the screws to you, right? When Zelensky was in the office that one time, he messed up. He should have just nodded his head and said, "Thank you, Mr. President." And at least he'd have been closer to where he wanted. But he was the one that picked that fight. So Trump was ready. JD Vance was ready, right? I imagine this being a similar situation, except for the fact that, bro, again, I don't think he's racist. I just think if you can't help Donald Trump, he doesn't care. So he's going to use you up if there's no use for you. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it's white supremacy is white supremacy, right? The black leaders don't get the same respect. They're not in the UN. They're not in they're not in the United Nations. We already know it is what it is. And for whatever reason, the South African president is now sitting in the Oval Office. Once again, it was weird. Well, the clip that was playing over and over and over again was, him showing a bunch of photos and claiming that there's some sort of a genocide that's happening over there, right? And like all the clips are from there forward. Well, I was like, you know what? Let me watch from the beginning of the press conference, because chances are that part at the end was distracting from what was happening earlier in the press conference.
Absolutely.
So let me just go back and listen to what's going on earlier in the press conference. So I think I found the question that may have been the thing that has the South African president sitting in the Oval Office. I think I figured it out. Let's listen and see. I could be wrong. Let's let this go. This is 18 minutes into a little bit more, an hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah, please go ahead. No, not you. Right here. He's from South Africa. Go ahead, please.
What are you expecting on the ICJ case? Are you expecting South Africa to drop that? Is that
what are you thinking on the ICJ case?
On which case?
The ICJ
The International Criminal Justice. I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. It's they've got.
How often does Donald Trump? I don't know. Right? When he's like, I don't know who that is. He knows who that is. Let's let it rock.
The case is a lot.
I wanted to just give that some context. Let's let it rock.
Of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and who knows what the ruling is going to mean. Yeah.
On that subject.
So I had a sneaky suspicion that might have been it. Let's continue. We're almost there.
Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed defensive there? There's been a lot of concern from European countries. The Pope has expressed concern. Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to tone down the offensive in Gaza to let more aid in?
Was that a question or a statement?
It's a question.
This guy, you never.
It's a messed up political position for him to be in, Broken Blade. I mean, I'm not comfortable with the idea that we got to bend the knee. Look at the color tie he's wearing. You know what I mean? Like, he might as well have the Israeli flag on there too, on his lapel. I'm over it, bro. I'm over it. Remember I told you at the very beginning I was going to bring it full circle?
Yeah.
South Africa is the one here. Look. I cannot believe. I cannot believe that we are really here. International Court of Justice, ICJ, involved in a series of cases related to Israel, primarily concerning the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the legal implications of Israel's actions in the occupied Palestinian territories. Here's a summary from the key. So there's 4 cases currently. The Wall advisory opinion. So this is from 2004, for God's sakes. The ICJ provided an adversary opinion requested by the UN General Assembly regarding the legality of Israel's separation barrier in the occupied Palestinian territory. The court found that the wall's construction within the occupied territory to be illegal under international law and stated that Israel should stop building it in those areas, dismantle existing sections, and provide reparations for damages. This opinion underscored the impact of the wall's route in Palestinian rights. This is from 2004, for God's sake. So that means that was already going. Legal consequences of occupation, and this is ongoing. Or no, I'm sorry, the wall one finished in 2004, but the wall is still around Gaza anyway, so I don't know what happened with that. Maybe they were just like, I don't care what you say. Then it says, also the request at UN General Assembly, the ICJ issued an advisory opinion in July 2024 concerning the legal ramifications of Israel's policies and practices in the occupied Palestinian territory. The court concluded that the Palestinian territories form a single unit and that Israel's occupation since 1967, including settlements and resource exploitation, is illegal under international law. The opinion also called for Israel to end the occupation, return assets, facilitate the return of displaced Palestinians, and pay compensation. Ongoing. South Africa v. Israel. South Africa brought a case against Israel alleging that the actions in Gaza constitute genocide under the Genocide Convention. The ICJ held hearings in January 2004 and issued provisional measures directing Israel to take all necessary steps to prevent, the G word in Gaza and ensure the flow of humanitarian aid. This case is ongoing, and the final ruling of the claim could take years, but the provisional measures are a notable step by the court. And then there are other cases. Palestine initiated a case against the United States concerning the relocation of its embassy in Jerusalem, arguing it violated international law. The ICJ has also addressed other specific issues arising in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in various proceedings. And if I'm not mistaken, Donald Trump is the person that moved the embassy to Jerusalem, if I'm not mistaken. He did that in his first term. That was like one of the first things he did. Once again, this one group of people keeps popping up over and over and over again, and we keep having to bend the knee to these one group of people over and over and over again. I don't know. I'm just making an observation. It's weird. It's just weird.
I'm curious.
It's weird. I don't know what else to say, It's weird. It's weird. And I'm using that as code for something that's not going to get me kicked off the internet.
Yep.
So why is South Africa in the Oval Office? Probably because there's a warrant out for Bibi in most countries. And I think Trump was putting pressure on him to freaking drop the case because Bibi can't travel and move around, and the world is turning on these fools. And part of the reason why the world is turning on these fools is the case has it in paper. Like South Africa put it in wax. Like they filed a case. There's an actual case. Like they sat in court and argued and presented evidence. Like officially. And see, the issue is that the ICJ, they're only used to prosecuting Africans. This is one of the first time they tried to do some of these white folks. That's why they're like, Trump is like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's gonna. I don't know. He's trying to act like it doesn't have any relevance or that the ICJ doesn't have any teeth. They're trying to pretend that it doesn't have any teeth so that it's like, oh, well, it's nothing. But there's like half the countries in the world are like, bro, if you fly in here, we're gonna have to arrest you. You do know that. Like some countries won't. Now, mind you, I believe they also file. There's a warrant for Putin also.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So there's that. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know what I mean? So this is why I think South Africa is in the Oval Office. Right here. This is why. This is why I think South Africa is in the Oval Office. Right here. This right here. This right here. Nope. Right here. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. That's why I think. You think I can play? You think I'm like out of pocket? Maybe I'm off base. Hmm?
I think you hit the nail on the head.
It seems like it's probably, you know what I mean? Like it seems more likely that, like, we're not trading with South Africa. We're not freaking doing anything with South Africa. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think it was a distraction. Like, from this. Like, this. And shout out to the brother from another mother. Solo Dolo, what city? What state are you in, bro? What state is Solo Dolo in, Broken Blade? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Shout out to my brother, man. Thank you. Oh man, Friday. Did you get any have you heard anything more about this any of this Diddy shenanigans?
Something popped up in my feed that about Will Smith testifying.
Will Smith is going to testify. That's not good.
It looked like a clickbait video, though, so
there seems to be a lot of that going around, man. There seems to be a lot of that. I mean, you have to kind of be careful. Even my own feed, I don't know about you, but the algorithm is trying to force feed me these like AI created content. And if it's not a person speaking directly, I purge them out of the algorithm. I'm like, not block them, but not interested, or don't show this to me again, or whatever. Yeah. Because I was starting to get a whole bunch of these like AI generated stuff that was, in the same realm of what the stuff I like, or stuff, just some of like the educational stuff that I watch.
Yeah.
And I started, and not only that, bro, but it was kind of deceptive, because it was like, Patriot Act, but they take rights. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So it was like it was like you could tell it was counter propaganda.
Yeah.
It was counter propaganda. And the AI is doing it now. So Lethal Man, what does it say? True Young wants to bring a Starlink here, doesn't want to obey the country's laws. Absolutely. And that's kind of why they're in China so deep too, because China's like, fuck it. How much data you need? Let's go. Take it all. Scrape it all. Scrape it all. So to Lethal Man. So it just seems like they're trying to embarrass him, Broken Blade.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It just seems like they're trying to embarrass him. A one-man Rico, right? The reality is everybody wants to talk smack, but the reality is that Cassie paid for the pros, paid and facilitated the drugs, paid and facilitated the locations. She had side dudes. She had side freak-offs, side boyfriends.
But she couldn't leave at any time. When she had access to all these other dudes. All right, dead.
I mean, he provided the money, but she did all the legwork. She did all the shit, plus some. Not just like the stuff that she did with him. She was doing other stuff too. And for God's sake, Kid Cudi said, I had a whole 1 year long relationship with that bitch. That's crazy. That's insane. So yeah, I just believe they're just trying to embarrass this dude and take his money. He's going to have to pay.
Yeah.
They're going to try to railroad him, and then they're going to either drain it out of him with the attorneys. Even then, I still think he's going to have to pay some sort of a settlement. He's going to have to pay. I don't know. They're not going to let him get off. Bro, he took almost $500 million from Diageo. $500 million. $500 million it was like $460 million, I think. I think it was like $460 or $480 million from Diageo. He ain't going. They're not going to let him go with that money, bro. They're not going to let him go. They are not going to let him go. I'm realizing more and more now, they're not going to let him go. And good old Tory Lanez, I can see they're going to try to take his ass out too. He went to another prison. He's back in prison, but he's in another prison. They haven't. They released some Ring video in the Tory online, and it sounds like what they said it did. 3 shots successive, a break, and then 2 more. There was no dance, bitch. I think it might have been like stop or what are you doing yelled in the background. Like, it just shouldn't be that easy to lock us up, bro. That's all I'm saying. It shouldn't be that easy. It shouldn't be that easy. What's on the agenda for the weekend, sir? Anything special planned?
Not really.
Yeah, laying low.
Gonna be doing some charity work.
Okay.
Food bank.
Okay.
Tomorrow and church Sunday. Nothing too crazy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Have you have you been at that place regularly? Is that like one of your
Kind of about once a month, something like that.
That's what's up. What is going on here?
I was in the party having him a good time. He ain't even paying no attention to the man he came. Never asked to even see my tapes. Now, look, he gonna go and do him a little shuffle back on the dance floor. He having him a good time. Nobody told him he couldn't come in there. Nobody disrespected him. He had him a good time. I'm gonna say it. Ain't no such thing as the white people can't come in here in CJs. We got white people that come in here. We got Hispanics that come in here. We got all races that come in here. We ain't exclude nobody to come enjoy themselves. I'm just giving it to y'all. I got to give it to y'all in this long length of time so y'all can see what the lick was. He dancing. He came in the club with another Caucasian gentleman. He's somewhere lost in the sauce in the party having him a good time. He ain't even paying no attention to the man he came with. He having him a good time. I'm just going to give it to y'all all the way up until it was time to go. That's when things got crazy. Now, you need my security guard with aggression. My manager and my security guard. The lights on. It's 2 o'clock. It's time to go. I'm going to shut up so y'all can hear the vocals. As y'all can see, my security guard is not, he called him a nigga a million times. He never touched him. That's my manager and my security guard. Never touched him. Never touched him for using the N-word. I'm going to show y'all when he got touched. My dope man trying to keep him calm. He's upset because it's time to go. Leaves out the door, immediately come back in and check out the footage.
That's about par for the course. Yeah. Right? Okay, yo, Solo Dolo. Yo, this is, I think, why, look, conviction rates for black men and crime rates for black men going down. I think that has to do with this. I think it has to do with DNA evidence in tech. I absolutely believe it's a lot harder to pin a case on us. However, if your name is Tory Lanez, holy bejesus, somebody pretty powerful wants you locked up, broski, because there was like no evidence against you and they just locked you up anyway. Like, real talk. Like, there's no way around it. There's no other way to say it. Like, they suppressed the evidence that made him not guilty and just didn't need any that made him guilty, and that was it. And they just locked his ass up. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But shout out to Solo Dolo, because that's real talk. They can't commit crimes. Let's see what Malima got to say.
Who left South Africa? I know Afrikaners who have been killed here in South Africa. It's not true. And there are no 49 Afrikaners who left South Africa. You all know that. It's a fiction. It's drama. You know, America with drama is number one. That thing is Muvango. I don't know what is Muvango in Africa. It's just a drama. I believe they landed and then they waited for cameras, took them pictures. The next flight back to South Africa. If those people are farmers, it means there are 49 farms available. Why are we not expropriating them? Because they've abandoned them. But why is the media not telling us? Because they say, yep, these are farmers. Why is the media, through its own investigation, say to us, this picture you see is a farmer at this. They are not farmers. There's no one who left farming here in South Africa. I suspect that those whites were these ones who were looking after cars at the parking lot. They were attending to cars and they went to fetch them there. They can't live. They will never live the kind of life they live here in South Africa, anywhere else. Even if you live here as a millionaire and you go to USA, your money gets reduced to nothing. So no American or Afrikaner will leave South Africa for America. It's not true. Our country, there's no killing of white people. We're not killing white people. We're demanding our land. We're saying, let's share this land. Let's all work the land. And if that is a crime, it's a crime we're prepared to commit, because we can't, when we're asking for food, and say, no, you're committing crime by asking. We're having a robust debate on land in South Africa. And that must never be used to silence us by America.
Broken Blade. It just sounded like a way too much logic and reason. Way too much way too much reason. I don't know. I can't handle that. Oh boy. Broken Blade, can I tell you what I think about this, bro?
What's up?
Who's getting insurance for these places? What is this? Just plain arson? These people just needed to get out the location and the money. They didn't give a fuck about who owned it. Maybe they'll get an insurance payout and pay. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, everybody is hurting right now, especially these rich people. And you know, with that USAID and them cutting all those different whatever's, like, it's not like that money was making it to black people for real, unless your name was Stacey Abrams. Then of course you got 2 Billy out the deal. But everybody else, these are some of these rich white folks that were not getting their, their normal whatever. I think this might be just a little bit of inside, a little inside arson real quick. Burn it up, get the insurance money, make it super like viral. So the insurance company got to pay out more, since it's like, maybe it increases the value of the property because it is, it is what it is. I'm just not sold on this whole, like these white, some of these folks might be laughing all the way to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, we don't care if this shit burnt down. Granddaddy's house. It's cool. I'm about to get paid out 10 times what this bitch is worth. I didn't have to fix the bathrooms. The walls were thin.
Big in Thailand.
Yeah, the walls were thin. The pipes were leaking. The roof was. Yeah, let me just burn this bitch down real quick and let the insurance company pay for it. Put something new on top. I'm dead serious. Stuff. I think there's gonna be a lot more of these, bro. Don't fall for the okie doke. Not you, but us in general. Damn. Papoose and Remy Ma. Dr. Dre donated to a school located in a gentrified area, replacing his own people. Dang, homie. Oh, that's kind of cold a little bit. I mean, the plan was to wipe us off this bitch anyways, dog. I don't understand. We can't be that surprised when it's just be working. That was what they was trying to. Oh. I mean, I kind of feel bad for the dude. They were on Anton Daniels talking shit about this guy last night, a couple nights ago. Last night, one of these, I don't know, they're all blurring together, but they were talking shit about this dude.
Who is this?
This is Robert Griffin III. He was an NFL quarterback for a minute. He had like a Steph Curry kind of style, but for football. He was a quarterback, meaning like, he would get hit a lot. He was getting hit on the sidelines. He was getting popped a lot. And I think not only did he get popped a lot, I just don't think he was a very good teammate. So I don't think people were really sad that he was getting hit a lot, if that makes any sense. Yeah. And so his career was short, and then he went into commentating. And I mean, he's still an NFL quarterback, so he's got the knowledge, right? And then he's got a very vanilla demeanor. Right.
Not a lot of personality.
The personality is like not unusual to be loved by anyone. I guess, are we getting it? Okay. So
gotcha.
So on Anton Daniels, this is some cold shit. And look, there's a dude on there named 2K. I don't always agree with him, but for the most part, he usually keeps it real. And he's kind of, and I don't watch all. I stopped watching any of their stuff when Myron got on there last week or some shit, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna give you any more of my minutes. But
yeah,
I happened to catch 2K on there, and they were talking about. He was trying to describe Robert Griffin III, and he was saying he's like, he's one of these, what did he use? What nerd? He didn't say nerd. He was trying to be nice and not say he wasn't cool. And the whole panel was like, he was like, they're all like, well, what do you mean? What kind of black? Like, what do you mean? Like, what kind of black are you talking about? And he was like, come on, all y'all act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. And he was like, and they were like, nah, what kind of black are you talking about? And they kept pushing it on him. And like, they didn't understand, like 6 or 7 of them. And he's getting frustrated because what I'm talking about. But they like wanted to make him say, black, like describe black the way you would describe black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Playing dumb. And I thought about it. And I say, it's not because I was trying to think about how I would have answered the question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how would I describe this gentleman without being disrespectful? Because usually even it's like, if you're a black person and you read, they'll be like, oh, you're acting white. My cousins used to tell me all the time, oh, you talk white, or you do this white, or you do this white. I'm from California. They're from Louisiana. So every time I would go and visit family, they were like, they spent half the time giving me shit about how I spoke, which was annoying. But, you dress like this, or you dress like that. So I understand how they're talking about this guy. Is there a way for you to be, how do you describe, because we're not all hood. We're not all hood. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why should I have to try, here it is. Why should I have to try to describe how I'm not like something? You know, does that make any sense? Like we're always trying to prove that we're not Pookies. The assumption is that we're Pookies. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to prove myself to you. Like you should assume I'm not a Pookie unless I prove myself to be a Pookie. Then in which case, okay, this guy's a Pookie. I get it.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't treat me like that when I show up. And that I think is the problem.
Rock is hard place.
Amen. And so, but then this guy, man, he's like referred to his wife as milk. He's all in the milk. All the weird shit, you know. I date multiculturally, but that's weird. That's strange. Nothing wrong with being a square. Hell no. What's up, Jock? How are you doing, sir? Don't care about no what he said. Don't care no WNBA conversation argument. Yo, he is. Yeah. It's a little. I get it if no one ever liked you and you really hate yourself and you're rich, but you still hate yourself. I mean, that's kind of what you come down to. Here, let's see here.
All right, everybody. So I'm here in Vancouver. I went to the lab today. We looked at my diesel, and my diesel passed all of the tests to be compared to real diesel, which was amazing. We are still set for the Portland event on Saturday. But listen, if you are in Eugene, Oregon, and you have a diesel vehicle, please let me know because we had a few issues with the original guy when it just came to timing. With the Nissan truck, he wasn't going to be able to make it out here on Sunday. So if you are available Sunday at noon and you have a diesel vehicle in Eugene, Oregon, please let me know so that way we can have a vehicle to run at the meet and greet. As you can tell, I'm a little bit sleepy because I've been flying, been out all day, and I'm 3 hours ahead of what time it is here, of course being on EST. But yeah, nonetheless, it's been great, and we'll be uploading the videos of the lab and stuff throughout time. But yeah, please let me know.
So that's the young man that is making diesel from his plastic. So just to give you just a little bit of flavor. So what he was doing was taking his diesel and getting it tested chemically. And the internet was giving him a hard time, like, why have you got it tested yet? Why have you got it tested? It's not real diesel, rah, 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 internet. And so he finally got all of his stuff together and got his machine set up properly and has tested his diesel, and it's within the parameters of what it needed to be for sellable, usable diesel, like that you could get out of a pump. You know, with obviously there's plus or minus some additives and things like that. But for the most part, as far as like alcohol content and the chemicals that are in there, it's like right on the money. Yeah. Do you need to be smart about the people he associate with? Yeah. I saw a video of him with some of these some folks that helped him set up his solar panels, and they looked like they came out of the woods of West Virginia or something. And I didn't really feel that good. I felt afraid for him a little bit. Yeah. Like here, let's see. I'm sure one of the clips is in here.
Successfully ran Julian's paralysis machine off of solar. We achieved the same PV input as AC output. It's literally putting in 4,900 watts and only taking out 5,500 with reused panels laying down on the ground. Got 4 different strengths. Fired up. Temp power right here. Now we have to make a few changes.
You hear it?
Fuck yeah. And we need some help.
I'm gonna turn another one on.
I need some help.
Cooking.
We need any type of university with a film school. I don't know what y'all are doing on Friday, but we're riding on top of an energy tank. Any college or university with a film program with some students who want to learn.
A microwave pyrolysis reactor. We can make
a flagship documentary out of it.
You can study us like the strange little science monkeys we are. We had to resort to some redneckery. We just took some Harbor Freight terminal connectors, crimped them on there, and slid them bitches in. Authentic, genuine.
You're gonna get hit by a dose of microwave.
Crazy. Shit might blow up.
It's not gonna hurt you, but it's not recommended.
Who knows? I just want some other people to be a part of it so we can show the world exactly how we did this, and there's no denying you can make fucking gasoline and diesel off of trash and
That's hella dog whistle.
Recycling.
We out here doing. What are you doing? The dirty South is leading the fight in climate change, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
take heed. We in this bitch. Sitting on a couch somewhere, watching people on the internet, get the fuck up off the couch. Come be a part,
Be a part of it. Be a
I don't want no one to pick up the dog whistle.
We need to do better, huh? We need to make it so that he doesn't need them.
And again, they claim people get pissy about FBA being so xenophobic. Like they don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even across the pond, Brother in Africa made that water saving system. He ends up mysteriously falling off the side of the building. Some years later, a white guy comes through with the exact same design.
It's the same old okie doke, bro. It's the same old okie doke. I think we should probably try to figure out how to help this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we should probably try to figure this out. I mean, he's been pretty open with the process and what it is. So to be honest, I mean, it's out there already. If somebody wants to do what he's doing, they can absolutely do it. He documented the whole process. I think the science is pretty simple too. I followed him along for a little while, and I don't think it's too difficult. I think there's probably like details that you learn along the way, but the basic concept, I'm pretty sure someone that has the means could reverse engineer it. It's not rocket science. But I don't like this, bro.
No.
It kept me from really, I knew he was traveling to the West Coast, but I saw this and I was like, oh, sorry. I don't know. I've had a lot of stuff stolen from me before. So, it's kind of like, I already know what it is. What are your thoughts about this ginger insanity? I feel dumb listening to some of these people talk. What is actually the whole thing? Are they trying to say there's like a rarity of gingers? Is that what it is? And somehow, what's the whole gig? I've kind of been avoiding it. I don't know. Because, let's see, it's mainly Tether's doing that. Is that what that is? Dre, is that what's going on with the with the? I mean, I still got a redhead on the bucket list. I've never done a fire crotch. It's on the bucket list. If I get an opportunity to close that deal, then I'm gonna do that. but outside of that, I don't know. I just to say I did. I don't know. That's always been on the list. Fire crotch. Mostly tethers. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. What are they trying to do? Trying to say that, like, are they trying to say that they're rare? Ew.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
Ew. Come on, man. That's nasty. I really would never. I really wouldn't. We're freaking salty balls his dick. I wouldn't do that at all. Pearly is not she's not an attractive lady. I did have a friend once that had a really hot redhead girlfriend where see, what's that say? they love us. They love us so much. They want to hate us. They want to hate us, but they love us so much. They can't leave us alone. They want to hate us so bad. I know y'all want to hate us. I know y'all want to hate us so bad. But it's just nothing that you just now you just making up shit. Now you just making up shit. Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Of course, Cody. You know what? Right on time, Cody. Right on time. I knew you right there. Oh damn, what was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So there's not a hater bone in my body. Not a hater bone in my body. Okay. I had this friend in college. Not a hater bone in my body. He was a drunk. And he had the hottest girlfriend, redhead. He was a smoke show. And Broken Blade, she was cool. Like could hang out with the fellas, roll up the wing, take shots, whatever, keep it under control, even though she was drunk, and then he would pick fights with her all the time. And you know when you got like a homeboy that's messing up,
yeah,
like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? You're messing up, bro. You're messing up. What are you doing? Stop it. You're messing up. And he would be messing up all the time, and she stuck with him for a really long time. He eventually fucked it up, but there's a couple of those hater moments where I was like, in my brain, in the back of my head, I was like, man, he's fucking this up. Man, he's messing this up. Oh my God, he's messing up. She was loyal beyond where she needed to be loyal, Broken Blade.
In high school, college, yeah. Like,
college.
Why did she
college and into college?
Now, see that they help to think of Patrice O'Neal. They need abuse. They won't settle for less.
It had to be, bro. It had to be. It had to be. It was the most dysfunctional shit I've ever, maybe not ever seen. At that time, that was the most dysfunctional relationship I had ever seen. At that time, for sure. At least at our age, they were like
going back to Cassie also.
Yeah, it was wild, man. They used to just be tripping. He used to get so drunk. I'd be like, yo, hold it together, dog. Like, God damn. He is fucking up, bro. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. What are you doing? And he eventually blew it up. I think they did get married, and then he lost it all.
Nasty word.
Okay. Look, black people. I need to talk to y'all for a second. Okay, so Broken Blade, here.
Just smell.
Okay, Broken Blade. Before we do this, the young man has his own deodorant.
Oh God.
He sells his own deodorant. That's how he pays for this shit. He makes his own like natural deodorants and stuff. So you have some context. Because when I first, I thought I forgot until just now. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot until just now that I realized that he sells. So before we pass judgment, which was what I was about to do, which I was in the process of doing, we have to remember that he sells deodorant, natural deodorant. So let's watch this advertisement. I don't know if it's going to make you want to buy it, but I'm not as triggered by what's happening now because of it.
Do I stink?
It's not. It seems
I
weird.
yours ain't that strong, but you don't stink.
You're wearing something different too.
You don't stink either.
Bro, this is the Jabaroma Natural Deodorant test. All right, this is Chris over here, and he has volunteered himself to very courageously smell some redneck pits, some blackneck pits today.
I make a deal.
I hope there's a backstory to these people that we don't understand. Like They really are like family. He can trust these folks.
Well, I mean, from what I know, they donated those used solar panels and then they brought them there and helped him set them up. That is how he's connected to them.
That's
they helped him. I don't know whether they paid for them or they just collected them, but they brought or someone donated and used them and they brought them, but they brought donated solar panels to run his machine. And then they brought them and helped him put them together. Yeah, Solo Dolo. That's y'all are see, man. We think we are right on. We yeah. Maybe he just didn't know what to say. I'm trying to throw the young man bail. We got to figure because we can't throw everybody out anymore, guys. Okay, that's the thing. We can't throw everybody out anymore. We got to shake them, grab them by the hand, and say, "Hey, that was cute and that's cool." But those people are going to slit your throat when you're not paying attention. You got to come over here and we're going to figure this out together. We'll help you out. At least now I'm saying that out loud. That sounds kind of crazy too, but
yeah, I'm thinking low key, no, I'll keep throwing them out. Not necessarily him.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about him one way or the other. He could be a good dude, just a little too trusting.
Yeah.
But off code is off code.
Yeah.
Better a little 300.
You know what? I mean, I bet he really wants some help from black people. I think he would have to want help from black people, right? Are we not helping him? We're not helping him. I'm not helping him. I should be helping him. Or at least I sent a message once, but I only sent a message once. That was like, keep it up, young man. I'm, blah, 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 blah. Like just reached out to just touch base with him. Cause I think it'd be weird if all of a sudden I was making requests, I just wanted to just.
Does he have a cash? Well, I guess like the deodorant is one thing.
Yeah. He said you can go to his website and buy his products. Like we can, let's try to reach up. He met up with Moses West. Okay.
Oh, that's what's up.
Okay. All right, man, we got to give this guy some love so that there's no need for him to feel like he's got to go to the other side. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't embrace us enough. I didn't really know it was a thing up until recently, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think we should try to help this young man out so that he's not sniffing redneck armpits. Because even if I was buying his deodorant, I would not make him smell my armpits on camera. I just wouldn't do that. That's weird.
Yeah.
Even for a deodorant commercial.
But you sniff me, I'll let you sniff my old lady too. All right, fair.
Right. So we've been working out in the sun all day.
This fool says, I'll let you sniff my old lady too. Yeah, man, that shit be giving me anxiety, dog. Bro, my spidey sense is tripping. Like that motherfucker's like sitting in the room with me. That shit's weird. I'm dead serious. That's funny. That's really funny. Huh. Wow. Anyway, I'm just saying I got the hair on the back of my neck stood up like that motherfucker was right here.
See, they don't understand, man. The Phantom Pain is some real shit, bro.
Hey, yo.
Man, I was watching a freaking comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked about this before.
It's crazy.
We had a moment like that, watching some comedy take place in like medieval times or whatever.
Mm.
This is one part of the story is like this nobleman was talking incessantly about politics or whatever at the dinner table, and see his wife is just getting increasingly like bored of all his ramblings. As he watches, find that she's having sex with one of the servants like behind his back. It's the middle of Europe. Everybody's white. But after they establish, okay, they're having a relationship, whatever. Like a couple days later, he's doing the same thing, talking politics or whatever, breakfast table. She keeps looking over at him, and he's like just trying to like do his job. I started getting flop foot. Low key, I'm like, oh shit. Oh no. Come on, bitch. I was like, no. Freaking stomach knotted up.
Scrub. Yeah. Ooh. I don't know, man. People, I guess, you know what? I guess people have their different, I mean, even for entertainment though, is wild.
Yeah.
Right? Oh.
And sure enough, like he connected the dots, and yeah.
How did he manage to do that? Were people acting weird or what?
Think he noticed something else. Something about a room or whatever. They saw her giving dude the eye and just connected the dots. Dude ended up having to run for his life, and
can't trust these hoes. Can't trust them.
Nothing new under the sun.
Can't trust them. It's not my fault. Just can't trust them. Can't trust him. And yeah, he absolutely said he'd let him sniff his old lady.
In sweat, like
two-step verification.
All right, do I stink?
Dude, it's not. It seems
I
weird.
don't stink.
Yours ain't that strong, but you don't stink. Yeah.
Hold on, she has a different sense on.
I mean, I guess it is his deodorant.
They had Florida vibes, man, from both of them. like wild Florida.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Armpit sniffing is probably going to be a got you. Yeah, that's
I think it's already is.
Huh?
I think it already is.
Oh.
Some crazy fetishes out there.
I mean, these people look like they probably on that communal living shit. So, you know, like, have you ever heard of what's that concert? Not Coachella, but the other one. Damn, it's out here in the desert. Burning Man. Yeah. See, whenever I see a girl and she's got Burning Man pictures in her dating profile, I pass. Because I know they be smashing in Burning Man. And it's like smashing like week old vajayjay that ain't been washed. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, it's like condom, not condom, condom, not condom, shower, not shower. Ooh, just, you know, in the tent, you know.
That's
like
a wild dice roll, man.
Right. 3-day old morning sex. Oh, just no. So whenever they got pictures at Burning Man with like the fishnets on with the bikini bottom, then I just go on ahead and swipe to the left, you know, just swipe that to the left. Cause
also I have the herb instead of fit you, please swipe left.
Yeah. If you got I got the herps. If you got a problem with it, swipe left. You know, say less.
Yes.
say less. Say less. Let's see. That's weird. It would not have people putting their gentlemen. Do not let men sniff your woman's armpit.
Can I check?
Yeah. Look, all right. Now, and you see, look, so we got Obsidian and Cuddles, the two scents.
She's Cuddles. I'm Obsidian.
Yep.
Isn't Obsidian black? Like Obsidian is like black lava. Okay.
Hey, smell that shit.
Yeah. Everybody smell it. Let me know what you guys think.
Hey, it smells great. What do you make it out of?
Essential oils are made of.
I mean, but we down in the country though, we living together. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's like conclaves of white people that are just fine. It's just, Again, it just gives me those Florida vibes. Yeah.
Shea butter, almond oil, magnesium hydroxide, and essential oils.
You know who we got to link him with?
Good, dude. Like
Kenneth.
strong,
Oh, and
like,
you look. You guys need to let me know if you got
Kenneth.
anybody in Georgia that will put these in their store.
Well,
if you got the connection.
that still smells like a
yes, I do.
Ash.
We need to help him. We need to help him. Broken Blade, we need to help him. I'm dead serious. We gotta help him. Whatever we gotta do, we gotta figure something out. We gotta figure something out. Yeah. Yeah, he should not be needing no help to where he needs to be asking them for that. Like, we should be able to figure something out.
And the names, like, another thing, does he know their real names?
I mean, look at your boy here.
They just drop the stuff off the solar panels on bounce. All the other action, like, just in case something happened, like nobody has a real name to go by.
I don't know, man. I just, again, the young man is getting his shit together and he's taking steps, and those things got donated, and but we should help. We should figure out how to help him out, because, because I think what he's trying to do has got some legs.
Absolutely.
I think for relatively cheap, I think one of them things could kind of run themselves. I think you could probably run like a small compound just with that stuff alone. Obviously, you would want to live somewhere where you have access to a lot of plastic waste. That's the issue, right? Like, you have to have access to a lot of plastic waste, which is a good and a bad thing, I don't think one family could produce enough plastic for it to make sense, though. That's what I mean by it. You need a lot of plastic to run the thing for it to make sense. So, if you were like lived in a city or close to a city, and you could like make like plastic runs and bring waste,
Here, I think near a recycling plant.
Yeah. Or be able to get, all you really need to do is you need to just be able to gather it and transport it. That's it. You just need access to it. You could live 30 minutes outside of town and come into town and pick up 2,000 pounds worth of plastic every time you come, maybe, I think it was like, he said it was something like 10-1. So basically like 10, it's like 10-1 is what is kind of the ratio, like how much plastic you need. Roughly like 10 kilograms of plastic will come up with like roughly like a little bit less than a gram worth of fuel. I think that's the ratio. It could be way more than that. But anyways, so to be able to get a gallon of the stuff, you might need, 100 pounds of plastic, potentially. So once you figure that part out, then you say, okay, how long can I run my machine?
You need to go fund or some other means to get the money up, get a warehouse, build the machines, and find like some local like mom and pop gas station to get started, make a deal with them so they'll sell this.
Yep.
They'll work out from there.
Yep. I mean, here we have recycling bins. All the shit goes in recycling bins here in San Francisco. There's a whole separate trash can for it here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, work something out with the
shit
Department of Transportation. What did he say? 3D or what? He said compared to smelling boxing gloves after 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. But see, girls think it's a flex. Girls think that photo is a flex. They're happy about that flex. They're like, oh my God, I remember Burning Man. It was so much fun. Oh my God, it was lit. All I'm thinking is that, I bet your stuff still, I bet that stench still ain't come off that vajayjay. Probably still smells like Brad and Bartholomew.
No, turtle.
Oh. That's nasty. Anyways, shout out to everybody, man. They came through. Broken Blade, you got anything you want to, Any wisdom you'd like to leave us with before we get up out of here? Shout out to South Africa.
Shout out to South Africa. Mansa Musa, African king. He travels to Brazil. He lives among them. Europeans, maybe with a handful of exceptions, anytime they travel the world, it seems to be associated with great and pillage. I've always heard tethers talk about how us FBA seem to blame white people for everything, and yet we are the richest black community on the planet. Ibrahim Traore kicked France out of his country, European country. He's not debt free. There seems to be a constant in the equation. Shout out to South Africa for calling out a country that's suffering like your country has suffered. Despite what political pressure you're going through, I hope you stay the course. To the country that can't be named and its allies. The evidence is there, clear as day. We live in a different era. There's cameras everywhere. We have the receipts. We can see you. Jordan Peterson has an analogy about the dynamics of power, referring to a group of monkeys or gorillas. Even a strong alpha gorilla, as strong as he might be, if he's a complete tyrant, eventually the other betas will come together to take out that alpha. So please don't assume the money in and of itself is going to protect you from justice. I'll land my point there.
Oof. Damn. That's real. That's real. Broken Blade, man. First of all, I guess I want to absolutely thank everybody that came through, hung out. You know what I'm saying? I know it's Friday night and this is not an exciting subject. The only reason why I wanted to bring this up, though, is I just wanted to, we need to do better at reading between the lines, right? And saying, okay, I see this part right here, but I'm trying to understand the rest of this other part. What's going on for real? You know what I mean? And so, I don't like that every time I keep peeling these layers back, I keep seeing the same country. I just keep making these observations, Broken Blade, that this one particular country just keeps popping up all the time. And I can't figure out why they keep popping up all the time, everywhere. This one flag. And it's so crazy how people's behavior seems to be just a little bit different when it comes to them. I don't know. It's just an observation. It's weird. Like I just don't understand why, what it is about this one group of people that everybody has so many problems with for whatever reason all of the time. I just can't figure it out. But I'm really getting tired of it popping up in my space all of the goddamn time. I'm getting annoyed by it. And it's funny because I'm wondering if it's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. Right? Like you're going to push and push and push people so much that they do actually eventually react. Right? That's the whole thing. See, Broken Blade, the part of I stopped myself on a rant earlier because I don't really know exactly what it means. Right? So what's always been the rule, right? Like the person that gets hit gets caught, right? The person that hits back gets caught, right? So the person that retaliates gets caught and gets in trouble, right? But then I've seen Billy retaliate and not get in trouble. Turn the other cheek. But Billy doesn't always turn the other cheek.
Rarely turns the other cheek.
Rarely turns the other cheek. Right?
And since we're going biblical, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth means match your retaliation to what was done to you.
Yeah.
They always seem to go beyond.
Much, much more, right? Like we saw what happened at the Israeli airport, right? Big ass hole in the ground. They could have hit a building if they wanted to. Big old crater in the ground, but they didn't. Meanwhile, Gaza's level. I mean, it doesn't really seem like the same. For real. It just really doesn't seem the same. But like to hear them tell it, all this didn't start till October 7th. But what happened before? That was the retaliation. Oh, you're not supposed to retaliate. You're supposed to just take the punishment. You're just supposed to take the abuse, Broken Blade. And I'm realizing more and more, this is the same situation here. Same situation in Israel. Same situation here in the United States. That seems to be a symptom of supremacy. Where you get to just say, oh, ow, someone did something wrong with me. I get to overreact and I don't have to be held responsible because I was just reacting to them. Because it started with them. Like my aggression to them didn't matter. It was their aggression to me. That's when the clock started. And that's where I think we're finding a lot of like issues. If I had to guess. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're that's why we keep talking and we're like, why are we not getting through? Like what is the part that I keep missing? Why is this not easy? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does this thing keep getting messed up? Oh, you didn't count your aggression towards me. So it seemed like I was the aggressor towards you. And then you just reacted or overreacted. Got it. And you were well within your rights to defend yourself. Got it. Okay. So everything that I was doing to you beforehand doesn't count. Right. So when this guy was talking earlier, he was trying to make it seem like it was just like, well, we just all showed up at the same time. We just showed up at the same time. And then, they had their tribes, we had our tribes. And then,
large portion of the land unoccupied. That's peculiar.
Yeah. I mean, we were just like, wow, we found it. We just found it this way. We just found it. We just found it that way. Anyways, I'm glad I didn't go as hard body as I really wanted to earlier. But it's just getting exhausting, dog. Yeah. The same group of people keeps popping up. The same group of people keeps popping up over and over and over again.
Push back against that. It's all frustrating, yes. Well, they're pushing back against that. They're the black fatigue. No, fuck you.
Oh no, I'm not black fatigue. I'm tired of freaking hearing this one country. I'm tired of seeing their flag. I'm tired of hearing their stories. I'm tired of it. I can see the manipulation. You know what I mean? Like if you're not looking for it, I could see how you would think that somehow. And again, that's why I was kind of saying that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the way I'm agitated right now. I'm like, yo, like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but you keep beating me over the head with it. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, you're not even taking care of my people. Like, so what do you mean? No one, and then you're over there doing crazy shit that I don't agree with. No wonder people want to knock your heads off. But they're the problem. And that's the thing. It's like you're over there doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. We're not co-signing that. Right? Like, what are we, and it's like, and I gotta be the asshole to say something. There's some other, all these people, everybody's tiptoeing around this bullshit. That's the exhausting part. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I gotta self-censor about what the y'all are doing over there in the other, like, really? Okay. That's wild. That's wild, dog. That's wild. And then it's supposed to be we're free speech and all that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here, bro. It's crazy. Like, get kicked out of school, lose your job, whatever, kicked off the internet or whatever, just because of this one particular country. Are you kidding me? And no red flags. No one's freaked out about it. Slippery meets slope.
You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
Pretty much. And no one seems to no one's paying attention. Like, the writing's on the wall. Bro, they're pulling funding. You know what they tried to get Harvard to do? They're like, we can control we want to have say in your curriculum, who you hire, who you admit. Like, and now I don't think it was Trump specifically, but this is his people. This is kind of this is that little part of that this is the part you should probably be concerned about, for sure.
Yeah.
This part, because it's not like the regular racist whites. Like, this is a different kind of racist white. Like, from that one country over there, those are the ones that are doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a different kind of white, and they will push the line on that. Like, they are pushing the absolute line on. So I don't know, man. Anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Happy freaking Friday. Watching a little F1 this weekend. About to watch a little bit of practice right now. You know, are you into, like, real quick, are you guys into racing at all? Like, do you actually watch it for real? You, chat, anybody? Are you into it?
See some rally races. That's pretty cool.
I kind of want to do some commentary and do some, like, call the races live. And just like, I'm gonna do it on the other channel. I'll show you. I'll send you if you really want to do it. I've been toying around with the idea. You know what I'm saying? But it's because it's tech. It's different. It's cool. Oh, Broken Blade. I found a crazy niche. Give me a second. I'm working on something. I might have gotten us some work. Might have gotten us a contract. Yeah, big contract. Might have gotten us a contract. Yeah. Not even joking. Like 2-3 year deal type situation. Contract.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like, me, editor, production crew, equipment, whole kit and caboodle, 2 to 3 years. That's what I'm trying to get done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like, salaries for all of us, at least 3 of us, 3 man, at least 3. So fingers crossed, dog. Fingers crossed. I think because these people be raising a lot of money. It's a company that raises that works in a particular. I'm not going to tell you what you call it. But they have, like, this one particular area has, like, 0 stuff on YouTube. Like a black hole of information, bro. I found it on accident. I worked for a company to take some pictures and do some stuff on accident. And then I was, like, trying to figure out how I was going to make myself valuable. I was going to pitch them. And while I was pitching them, I was doing the research, and I was like, yo, no one is doing any of this. Like, nobody on YouTube at all. Like, there's little to no YouTube content that this company does or whatever. So I'm like,
going to the off stream or?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. We know, yeah. But I'm trying to get us a 2-3 year situation where we got, like, and then we could just go and travel and document. That's the goal.
Cool.
It might be like local at first, and then we'll build into being able to travel. But like, think like mini production company, but I mean just with one major client.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, anyway. All right, bro. Well, good shit. Salute to everybody that came through. Cody Marshall, thank you, sir. Solo Dolo, thank you, sir. I think Braxton was in here. Thank you, sir. Coming through. Once again. Oh yeah, and Jacques, salute to you, bro. Thank you so much. Dre, salute. Thanks so much for coming through, bro. Hanging out with us. Yeah, look, man, I just wanted to settle, like I said, I just wanted to put some shit in some stuff in perspective. They keep trying to force feed me these stories, and I'm just like wondering, why are they force feeding us stuff about South Africa? Like what's going on? And then I realized, oh, I see, because South Africa's going after our other buddies over there, and we're trying to get them up off of Israel. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. Now I understand why South Africa is so hot. So I just wanted to put that on wax, instead of just being deceived like they keep wanting to do. Anyways, we're gonna try to catch you guys in the next one. Maybe early show tomorrow. I'll see you if Broken Blades down to do it, and we'll figure it out. Otherwise, we out.